In the Risale-i Nur collection, it is demonstrated that every work has a maker, every action has an agent, every piece of art has an artist, and every order has an organizer, by leading from the work to its maker. Just as even if we consider a single curve on a simple pair of glasses, it points to the existence of the optician. So if glasses point to the optician, what does the eye point to? If the eye pointing to the optician is not considered evidence, then what kind of evidence can we reach regarding the eye itself? Just as the existence of a palace, with every single stone, points to its architect, yet saying, we cannot see the architect, we cannot see the builder, and thus denying the builder or the architecture itself, is neither rational nor scientific. Because that palace, with every stone, its order, its measurements, its artistry, its wisdom, and so on, with as many names and attributes as it has, demonstrates its builder, its architect. The Suleymaniye Mosque, in every single centimeter, completely proves the existence of Mimar Sinan. Now, if someone were to come and say, you attribute everything in the Suleymaniye Mosque to Mimar Sinan, you prove Mimar Sinan step by step with every single thing in the Suleymaniye Mosque. So if we don't attribute it to Mimar Sinan, to what should we attribute it for it to be considered scientific? So, is it more scientific not to attribute it to Mimar Sinan, or does science, reason, and logic lead us to Mimar Sinan?
Actually, this has been beautifully explained in the treatise on nature. This is a very good point. The moment we don't acknowledge the architect, we have to attribute all of Mimar Sinan's qualities, his knowledge, to every single stone.
Yes, exactly.
So what they actually accept as scientific is this. If you don't accept him, the architect, then it actually becomes a very serious ignorance.
Now, in the Risale-i Nur collection, this way of thinking that we call agnostic thought has been completely refuted at its very foundations, especially in the treatise of the Supreme Sign, the treatise on nature, and the 15th letter. It is an idea that has been thoroughly debunked and rendered obsolete. It's not possible for us to convey all those topics from there in full. Here, let's point out that source. Those who wish, those who desire, can read those sections and find answers there that will fully satisfy them both in heart and spirit. To briefly touch on it, we do not see the architect. Therefore, we cannot know. This is a completely rhetorical and manipulative approach. For example, in the 29th word, there is an expression, the absence of seeing cannot be evidence for the absence of existence. In other words, not seeing cannot be proof of non-existence. Just like this palace. This is perfect, orderly, harmonious, wonderfully crafted, full of wisdom, and so on. Every single atom of this universe points to and displays the owner and master of the Sultan of this universe. While a letter expresses itself only as much as a letter, it introduces its scribe through lines and pages. For example, when we write the letter Alif, it expresses itself only as much as an Alif. But its scribe, my scribe's handwriting is beautiful, his pen is red, his skill is such and such. It describes and defines him in many aspects. Therefore, this book of the universe, with all its letters, words, and sentences, points to the existence of a scribe who wishes to make himself known.